Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to another live stream here on the formulajonah YouTube channel. And I'm happy to say that we are here for another event, the 6 Hours of Sao Paulo, the Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo, another endurance race with 36 cars on the grid across the Hypercar and GT3 grid. Now, today we have a special guest joining the live stream. My good friend Mora, which I have known for over 5 years, man. I think we've known each other for quite some time, starting out with league racing and all that sort of thing. Mora runs a YouTube channel like this one on endurance racing. Check it out with the link in the description down below. Great channel. We've been collaborating on quite some videos as well, and just every single video you put out, man, is so cool. So, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for the words. I appreciate them. I'm doing great. I cannot wait to have another great race from the World Endurance Championship. It's been over the last 2.5 years in the golden era, as people like to call it now. It's been amazing so far. Like, we haven't really had any boring races. Maybe one last year at Imola, but I'm really looking forward to it, and even more given the latest BOP changes with Ferrari mainly.
Yes, I completely agree with you. I mean, it's really spiced up the grid, It's really kind of unknown where people are, Up at the front, we have Cadillac once again on pole. Peugeot are finally in the fight. My goodness, it's been a long time coming, but here they are. They're finally in the fight for maybe even a top 5 finish. We'll see how that goes. Viewers, welcome to everybody who's joined so far. I see a lot of you in the chat already. Great to see. And this race is going to begin in just a few minutes' time. It starts at precisely 11:30 a.m. local time in Brazil. You can catch the action live on FIAWEC.tv. Of course, depending where you are in the world, it's different. Can be geo-blocked or whatever. There's also a subscription in order to watch the WEC official stream on the FIAWEC TV app. But yeah, we're just watching the live feed off to the side of our screens, and they're putting up a couple of signs that say like 30 seconds, 1 minute kind of thing. So we're just about to get underway with the formation lap before the official start of the 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. But Mora, you mentioned that we got a lot kind of heading into this race. BOP changes, Ferrari not really in the fight as of right now. I want to ask you, what's the biggest talking point heading into this race for you? Is it BOP? Is it pace? Can Ferrari continue their dominance? What's your thoughts?
I mean, obviously, the one that was the most shocking, at least when the week started, was Ferrari getting their BOP. I think it comes more as a pressure change, I think, because we have seen Ferrari being so dominant the last 4 races or 5, and nobody could touch them. We saw at Le Mans that they could barely get challenged, even when Porsche actually managed to have some pace and put up a fight, mainly Kevin Estre, and they still couldn't get that close. So but it's not only that, of course. We saw Aston Martin is finally, they nearly got into the Hyperpole yesterday, which was quite a surprise. Of course, they're running now on the minimum weight. So is Peugeot, which is, I think it's quite the change, because we saw Aston Martin on the first couple of races having 10 kilos more than the minimum weight. Of course, we saw how much they struggled. Even more given that, well, they have no hybrid power. They can, of course, it's less weight, but it's a bigger problem in terms of power. But yeah, and then of course you said Peugeot back in the fight after so long. We haven't seen them this. We haven't seen them this up in qualifying since the Qatar Grand Prix, the Qatar 1812 last year, when they nearly got a podium before eventually the car just turned off in the last lap. And of course, the last thing to say is a Brazilian is on pole in GT3.
That's a good sight. I mean, Rubens Barrichello's son, Eduardo Barrichello, we all know Rubens, I mean, from his time in Formula One. He, of course, got pole back in, I think it was 2009, his last time, with
Yes,
Braun.
it was.
And, yep, and I think that it's great to see that his son is now on pole, continuing the legacy of the Barrichello name. And he's on pole with the Racing Spirit of Lehman Aston Martin. That's the Vantage GT3 car. And I don't know, GT3 looking pretty competitive as well. Lexus showed very strong pace here. 87 and 78 are right behind in second and third position. Very, very strong performance from Lexus. McLaren were also really strong last year. They again look strong based on qualifying. Corvette is up there. Ferrari's up there. You know, this is interesting to see, and I think that the LMGT3 field is very, very competitive. But for the first time in any 2025 race, there is no Ferrari in the top 7 positions. That is big. The nearest Ferrari is the 83 car, which won Le Mans last time out. It starts in 9th place. So Ferrari obviously don't have the pace here, at least right now. That could change. This has typically been a track where the 499P hasn't really gone well, but Ferrari, there's a very good chance that we could see a different manufacturer winning. I mean, Ferrari have dominated the season so far. Cadillac, can they pull it off finally? Can they get their first podium since 2023? Can Porsche do it? They look strong as well. Can Peugeot do it? I mean, this is a very interesting story to follow up on, but yeah, a lot to look forward to. By the way, viewers, before we continue, I just want to point out that we do have 2 other live streams going on at the same time. You can check those out later on. We got the starting grid live stream, and we have the live data stream, so you can just watch live data. But that will go on throughout the whole race. Me and Mora just streaming the first couple of laps, first hour kind of thing. And then, yeah, we're gonna continue to watch the race, but yeah, really excited for this one, and really excited to join you as well for this epic endurance race.
Yeah, again, thank you for having me. And yeah, I think this season we've had a bit of a Toyota-esque season, if you'll allow me, because there really hasn't been anybody that's been close to Ferrari ever since the beginning of the season. Only at Le Mans we saw a glimpse of what some close racing could be, but even then, of course, we had Ferraris just straight at the top, and apart from the number 6, nobody could actually get in touch with them, as the cars are about to go apparently in Hypercar. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one, and I do think both categories are quite open for once. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Me as well, and yeah, as you said, both the classes are looking very, very competitive, and we're about to see the start of the 6 hours of Sao Paulo, viewers. We have Cadillac on pole, Porsche alongside. Former F1 driver Will Stevens is going to lead the field away. Who's going to take the checkered flag here in Brazil? Porsche, Toyota, and Porsche, Toyota, and Audi have done so in the past. Will be another manufacturer. Let's see. Here we go in Brazil for the Rolex 6 hours of Sao Paulo in 2025. Lights are out and the 6 hours begins. Very good start by the Cadillac. The 12 car moves ahead into the lead, continues to lead this race. The 38 with, I believe that's Bamber behind the wheel, trying to go side by side with Julian Andor. A little bit of contact there, it seems, and the Porsche does stay ahead. So the top 4 stay as they were. Very good start from everybody so far. The number 6 Porsche is moving up the field as well. But a very good start. No drama amongst the hypercar entries. The only major change is the 007 Aston Martin down the order. But very good start to this race in hypercar.
Yeah, it did. We saw it was. I was expecting for some cars to have a little bit of an argy-bargy into turn 1, but pretty clean so far, as you said. The Aston Martin going a little bit further down the order. The only change is now we see, is that the number 6 Porsche taking? Is that the Porsche taking the lead? Yes, it is. The Porsche takes the lead of the hypercar field.
Yes, and there goes the second Cadillac as well, the 38 trying to get past the 12 as well. The number 5 Porsche, that's Julian Andlauer, repeats exactly what he did at Le Mans last year. Cadillac started on pole, the Porsche got ahead on the first lap, and that's exactly what Andlauer has done here on the second time in the WEC. very good gap that Andlauer has built up as well. So Porsche lead this race overall, and that's the number 5 Porsche Penske Motorsport 963. Cadillac still 2 and 3, and the Peugeots are now 4th and 5th right now. Meanwhile, there seems to be a little bit of a switch between the Cadillac entries. The 38 Earl Bamber really putting on pressure on the 12, and he's looking to get past. And they got to make sure that they don't hit each other like in Qatar, because they have those Peugeots right behind, and those 9X8s are looking for their first podium since Bahrain last year. So very interesting to see.
Indeed, indeed. And of course, not only the Peugeots, BMW right behind in 6th and 7th. They're currently, it's actually quite satisfying for the view. We have Porsche, and then we have both Cadillacs, both Peugeots, and both BMWs following. And in GT3, we missed the start in GT3, by the way. The TV direction there.
They didn't show it.
Not the best work, but the number 10 Racing Spirit of Le Mans still leads the way. The number 95 has gotten a great start there in 2nd place, and the number 61 goes from 2nd from 4th all the way down to 9th at the beginning.
Ooh, not a good start for Mercedes. But yeah, this is a great start for McLaren. It's the British that are out in front, and they're looking to fight. 2 different British brands, though. Aston Martin and McLaren up at the front. But United Autosports, number 95 McLaren, has jumped into the top 3 positions, looking very strong right now. So we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, the 007 Aston Martin has jumped to the back of the grid after starting in 12th, I believe. So not the best start for the Aston Martin, as actually it might make up a place here as the Ferrari goes super wide. That's the 51 entry that's currently leading the championship. As you can see, Ferrari are really struggling here, viewers. And you can watch the left-hand side of your screen, the live data, to show exactly which cars are in what positions. Meanwhile, Lexus moves ahead of McLaren, the 78. That was the car that was qualified by Finn Gerzitz. Sorry, actually, it's not the 78. That's the 87. So the number 87 Lexus has moved into 2nd. I believe that might be Petra Umbaresco behind the wheel, but I can't.
It is.
It is? Okay, great. So the Lexus has moved into 2nd. Lexus are showing very good pace here. In Brazil, I gotta say.
They are indeed. They are behind as well. We've seen the other McLaren now up to 5th. But you mentioned Lexus. Indeed, they have amazing pace actually. So far, I would actually consider them favorites to take the win, because I do believe the number 10 is not going to be able to hold that position that much. There's actually the number 10 has not won a race in the World Endurance Championship in 2 years. So as we see, is that the number 009 overtaking the Alpine? Yes, it is. That was pretty close to the wall there, but up to 11th place it goes. And you mentioned it before, but the Ferraris, the AF Corsa Ferraris, down in 15th and 17th. Oops. Jonah, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think we've lost your audio.
Oh my goodness, I totally forgot to unmute myself. Thank you so much. I totally forgot to unmute myself.
You're fine.
I can't remember what I was saying. I think I was saying that what was I saying? Oh, Ferrari definitely struggling. They are not looking good. The Ferrari, of course, the entries you said down in 15th and 17th. I mean, they are just down the order. Toyota looking not so great either. I mean, the number 8 is trying to defend 10th. The number 8 might lose the top 10. So That's the nearest Toyota right now, and Toyota and Ferrari not looking quite well, but we'll see how that goes. Also, I want to quickly mention a few comments that we had from Christopher. We had one that said, "How are you guys watching the race?" Well, I'm watching it on HBO Max, um, and I think Mora usually it's for Eurosport right over in Spain.
Hmm. It is, yes.
Okay, so yeah, there's different places to watch the action, viewers. Oh, as we see a very close battle right now in Hypercar. I'm hoping that
Ooh.
everything goes well. Ooh,
That Toyota is really slow. Is really slowing down everybody right at the back, but it seems like all the data from last year is just gone into the bin. It seems like no car, apart from the number 5 Porsche, it looks like no car that did well last year in Sao Paulo is doing well this year. None of them are even close.
yeah, it's very very interesting to see. But yeah, that's how it goes. You know, we'll see how this race is progress. Of course, we are still just a few minutes in, and this is a 6 hour endurance race, so a lot can happen in 6 hours. Of course, viewers. And this kind of correlates with a good comment that we saw as we see the Alpine going past the Proton Porsche. We had a comment from Varden who asks, who will win according to you guys? For me, I would say the number 5 Porsche has a really good shot at winning this race. But what about you, Mora? Who do you think is gonna be up there?
Um, the number 5 Porsche is looking pretty strong. That I cannot deny. However, I do really, really believe. I think the number 38 might have this one.
Ooh.
Um, they've been pretty much at the top the whole week. I mean, they've just been there every time. Of course, they had the penalty, with which they lost the front row.
Hmm.
But other than that, they have been doing pretty well. During the season, they have shown glimpse of hope. Of course, we saw Qatar that, in my opinion, should have been a number 38 podium. That went well. But they
Oh.
have great. They have a great lineup. Is that the BMW? Is that the 15 in the pit lane?
Yeah, it is in the pit lane. Sorry to interrupt you there, but yeah, that's the 15 in the pit lane very early on. This is like within the first couple of laps, and the 15 is in the pits. Why has
I
that
wonder if they
happened?
have a puncture.
They might. I saw a little bit that the car was going quite slowly, but I thought maybe it just messed up on the corner, but maybe it is the puncture. Hmm.
It could be. It could be. As we see now, the number 78 takes third place, and apparently the number 59 from United Autosports has made a mistake because they have dropped from fourth place all the way down to seventh.
Ooh, that's not good for McLaren. Hopefully that 59 car, which finished on the podium last year, can reclaim some of the successes they had last year. We'll see.
Let's see if they can. But at the moment, things are quite calmed down back in Hypercar, and as we can now see in a replay from the beginning of LMGT3, that was quite messy there at the back. Was that? It is indeed. I think that's the 33 Corvette. Yes, it is, and the number 46 BMW, who is right at the back of the LMGT3 field after a little bit of a mishap at the start.
Yeah, so the TV cameras missed this, viewers, but thankfully we are able to see kind of what happened. So three cars, as Mara mentioned, went off track, including a Corvette, a Ferrari, and Rossi's BMW, the 46 car. That is. That explains why Ferrari are at the back of the field in LMGT3. Both cars are there. Thankfully, no one has gotten major damage or anything like that, so seems like everybody's okay.
I think that was that the Proton? I think that was the blue Proton that nearly went into the side of the 46 BMW.
Believe you're right.
But yeah, the number 77, I think it was.
Hmm.
But apart from that, a clean start, at least at the front, as we now see the number 5 Porsche starting to lap the front runners of the LMGT field. And I do have to say, the number 5 Porsche is having quite a comfortable race so far. Look at the gap behind is quite big.
Yes. Oh, hold on a second. I hate to interrupt you here. Problems for the BMW, the 15, Kevin Magnussen behind the wheel. This is pretty much game over for the 15. My goodness, this is
It is.
so early on. Something's happening at the front of the car. It's in the garage, and this is pretty much game over for the 15. So unfortunate. That car was looking very strong. They still have the 20 in the race, but we'll see how it goes. But yes, the 5 looking very strong. Julian Andlauer behind the wheel, and he's built up a 2.5-second gap, as you can see to the left-hand side of your screen, viewers, to Will Stevens in the Cadillac. So things are looking pretty good for Porsche right now. But we have to remember, to Le Mans, the number 5 Porsche did something very similar. It took the lead, built up a very strong gap, but then it
And then
lost the lead.
downhill.
Yeah, so it's possible that that could happen here. Of course, it's a different type of race. It's 6 hours versus 24 hours. So, yeah, a lot still to happen, but very different. So we'll see how that goes. Also, we had a comment coming in from Nate that asks, I just got here. Did Cadillac actually lead a lap this time? And I hate to break the bad news to you, but no. They didn't. Oh,
Tough times at Cadillac, tough times.
yeah.
But yeah, as now we see the BMW number 20. Ooh, that was pretty close there with the Aaron Dames, nearly making contact out of one of the slow corners in the middle sector. This is quite the tough track for traffic.
Right, yeah, we're seeing multi-class racing in a track where there's not that many multi-class races happening. I think this is actually the only one, if I'm not mistaken.
It
So
is.
yeah, and so it's not normal, especially considering the Formula One grid. This is not normal for this. Also, Christopher asks, how are you watching the race, Jonah? Oh, I'm watching it on HBO Max, so that's how I'm catching the action live. Meanwhile, we have a switch between the two Alpines happening, which is, I believe, for 11th place. Oh,
Yes, it is. Looks like the 36 will keep that one this time around. But
seems
ooh, a
so.
little bit wide. Is that because of traffic? We cannot tell, of course, because as the number 83, Phil Hansen, round the outside of Brendan Hartley into turn 3, takes 8th position. That's quite the move with traffic right there.
That was 2 positions from the 83, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, I'm my bad. It's 1 position. The Aston Martin stayed
Oh,
right
yeah,
behind.
true. The 009 is behind, true.
Yeah, so it continues to stay behind. I have to say though, Marco Sorensen in that Valkyrie, is that an Aston Martin fighting for a 8th position? My goodness, where did the pace turn up from the Valkyrie? This is very good stuff. And I told you, viewers, at the start of the season, I said wait until the midway point in Brazil. Right just after Le Mans, that's when we're going to start seeing the Valkyrie start to perform a little bit better, and look what's happening. That's exactly what we predicted a long time ago. So the Valkyrie definitely showing some decent pace. Sorensen is in the fight for 8th position, currently in 10th. The 27 is the 007 is down the order. I get mixed up with their Heart of Racing entry in the GT3. Speaking of the Valkyrie, here comes Sorensen on the 8 Toyota looking for 9th place, and the
Ooh,
Valkyrie moves ahead. How?
what a move that is! Ooh, nearly pushes the Toyota off the track. Keeps it right on the black stuff. But you said it. We knew, and I think this should have been the general knowledge. Those knew that it's always after Le Mans or right at Le Mans when everything clicks. At
Mm-hmm.
least for the new, we saw it with Alpine. We saw it with BMW as well when they got in. Le Mans was their changing point. Alpine from Sao Paulo onwards last year, they managed to get everything together. Ferrari, they didn't have pace when like they had qualifying pace, but they could not get a race together until Le Mans. Le Mans is always the point where you say it's now or I just stay back. We saw
Right.
with Lamborghini, for example. You saw that Fraschini as well. It's a what if had they remained in the WEC last year, but Aston Martin, it's still quite impressive. Even after Spa, when when we saw the first glimpse of, let's say, speed from
Yeah.
the car. But even then, this is impressive.
Marco Sorensen, take a bow. My goodness, very impressive stuff from him, and very impressive stuff from the Valkyrie as well. We'll see how they continue to provide if they can continue to provide points for Aston Martin. We'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, Julian Andlauer continues to lead overall in the number 5 Porsche Penske, and then it is Anthony McIntosh in the number 10 Racing Spirit of Lehman Aston Martin, the car that's leading in LMGT3 that Eduardo Barrichello put on pole. By the way, McIntosh is making his WEC debut here at Brazil, and he's leading overall. So very impressive stuff from the driver who usually competes over in IMSA. So McIntosh doing a very, very good job. And I've heard that he might be racing more often in the WEC next season. So we'll see how that progresses. But yeah, so pretty good start to the race, pretty clean start. The only major drama is for the number 15 BMW. That car is effectively out of this race now, it seems. I think it's a couple laps down now. It's still in the garage. Something happened at the front. I don't know exactly what happened, but the BMW is not looking good, at least for the 15.
It is not looking good indeed for the number 15. As I do believe they are still in the garage. Yes, they are still in the garage. But of course, it's racing. Not a lot you can do about it. And while we see currently that TV keeps showing us replays at the beginning, was that the number 6 Porsche, I believe, going off the track there, as we saw in the replay of the start. And now the TV has missed this. Marco Sorensen, up into 8th place, has just overtaken Phil Hansen.
Wow.
So, wow, that you said it. I'm sorry, but I have to repeat it. Sorensen, take a bow. What a start this is being at the moment for the British outfit. First in LMGT3 and now 8th in Hypercar, which may not seem much, but given the circumstances as there, we're seeing the replays now of the double o nine.
Yep.
Going past. I think that was the number 36 Alpine before the traffic. But this race could well be a game changer for Aston Martin if they can play their cards right.
Yeah, things are going quite well for the Valkyrie, and viewers. For those, well, I'll just say this: a while ago, there was a lot of people that mentioned that you can't race in hypercar without a hybrid. You have to have a hybrid in order to race. That was the case with Van Wall. That was the case with Glickenhaus. That's not the case with Aston Martin. They're clearly in the fight. So yeah, it's quite good to see that a non-hybrid powered car is in the fight, and a car that is the true definition of a hypercar. So that's whoa.
Sorry to interrupt you. Was that the number 80? Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
The number 87 Lexus takes the lead of the LMGT3, and now the number 10 Aston Martin is under big pressure from the number 88 Proton. Another thing we've missed, the number 88 Proton up to 3rd position, past the number 78 Lexus. We said it before, we weren't sure, but Aston Martin, I don't know if they have the pace in LMGT3, but the Lexus are scary.
They are. And how ironic is this as well? The number 87 Lexus has taken the lead right when we hit 87 live viewers. I don't know if that's like a coincidence or whatever, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, Petro Umberesco now leads overall now leads in LMGT3 in class. Not overall, but the 87 car is up in front ahead of the Racing Spirit of Lehman Aston Martin. Then comes the number 88 Proton car. The Ford Mustang, though, could move into second very shortly. We will see how that works out. But things are looking good. And as you said, Mora, those Lexus look pretty scary.
They do indeed. As now, of course, the TV focuses on the hypercar field. Hypercar, no changes apart from that one. And I'm actually surprised that apparently the TV direction has missed that. Of course, as I said, Sorensen going up into 8th places now. We're seeing the number 88 Proton chasing down the number 10 Aston Martin as they're going to go down into turn 1. Doesn't look like a likely move, but and you said before they're still there. The two Ferraris, the 21 and the 54, at the bottom of the LMGT3 field.
Not looking good.
Quite a surprise, I must say.
Very much a surprise. This is not what we expect from Ferrari, considering their pace in the last couple of rounds. These cars are battling for the championship as well. But yeah, this is interesting for sure. So Ferrari, not looking quite well, at least in both categories. So it's not doing well, but that's okay. We'll see how that goes, and maybe they'll come back stronger in Coda. This is a track that the 499P has done well at. Ferrari and LMGT3 has done well in the past, as we see a switch in position here. That's the number 8 Toyota moving ahead of the Alpines.
Yep, the number 8 Toyota there, defending from the 36 and the 35. Yeah, maybe from Ferrari, it's an attempt to bring the Evo version of the GT3 sooner. could be quite the strategy now. But as talking about GT3s, by the way, not related to the World Endurance Championship, but of course, Lamborghini revealed yesterday the new GT3. I think it's called the Temerario.
Yes,
GT3.
It is.
Yellow flag. And that's the 27, the 27 Hard Up Racing Aston Martin in LMGT3. Ian James, the team principal, has gone for a spin at, I believe, at the Is That Glock corner.
It is at the Is That Glock corner. That's, I believe, turn 12, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is, yes.
Yeah, John Sal, I believe that's the corner name. But yeah, the 27 Heart of Racing Aston Martin has spun, from what it seems. Ian James has seemed to get the car back out on track because we no longer have yellow flags, and it seems the Aston is back into the race, so thank goodness. But it has spun, and it has lost many positions.
It has. I believe they were fighting for 12th position there in the LMGT3 field.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a mistake. That costs quite a lot, but it's still early on. They can get back. Not a lot of action now in either of the fields. Of course, now we see the number 5 and 6 Porsche again filtering through traffic. We said before how it isn't the best of tracks for Multiclass, Sao Paulo, of course, because it is quite tight and a lot of slow corners, so it isn't optimal. But I must say how beautiful it is to see these cars just going past and just filtering like if it was nothing.
Agreed. Yeah, it is great to see. This is wonderful. This is why we're back in Brazil, because of this action that we're witnessing right here. The WEC came back after 10 years away last year in 2024. Their last appearance back in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's brilliant to see that we finally have Brazil back on the calendar. We finally have Interlagos here. Of course, Interlagos, most famous for the Brazilian Grand Prix in Formula One, but it is great to see the WEC is here as well, and that it's spreading across multiple points of the world. I think the only continent where we're missing WEC action is Africa, where we need WEC. I'm hoping that...
Sorry to interrupt you there. Of course, we're missing Oceania as well.
Oh, that's true. We are. I forget about that. And tactically Antarctica as well, but I don't think there's any racetracks in Antarctica, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you never know. You can always throw in the wet tires and just race.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You probably could, for sure. That would be quite the interesting thing. Oh, we just saw what happened to the 27. I believe contact with the 33.
Yeah, I think it was the hypercar.
Oh, was it?
I think it was. I think it was contact with the number 38. It could. It might have been. It might have been an
Yeah.
LMGT3. I'm not sure, but I do believe it was the hypercar.
I saw a hypercar in there. I wasn't sure if it exactly hit the Aston, but yeah, I mean, now rethinking it, I think it might have been involved there. So that's not good news for the hypercar. If it is the 38, that could be a penalty and could promote Peugeot into a podium place. We'll see how that goes. I'm not saying that I want Cadillac to do well. They're one of my favorite brands, but I also want Peugeot to do well. So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe both of them can get a podium. That would be cool. We'll see.
Peugeot, of course, a little bit. Stellantis, the parent brand from Peugeot, of course, lately have been quite, I wouldn't say furious, but quite angry at the fact that they were one of the first to invest, of course, in the hypercar class in the World Endurance Championship, and it just seems like they're not getting enough. They're not getting enough as a compensation. You said it since Bahrain last year. We haven't seen Peugeot being able to put up a fight at the front. They've always struggled. Of course, we've seen Peugeot fighting for big things. What has it been? Twice, maybe. In Monza 2023, where it looked like they could get a win, didn't work out at the end, and of course Qatar 2024. So it's great to see them fighting every. Is that the 20? Is that the 21 Ferrari going off? I think that was in the replay.
Yeah,
Um,
it was contact with an Alpine, I believe, at turn one or turn two.
but yeah, what I was saying, if Peugeot, the only thing they can do is just get one good race a season. That's not going to be enough. They might, and of course, nor the drivers nor the engineers whatsoever get the last say. It's the parent brand, and as of right now, unless something big happens, I don't know what the future could look like.
Yeah, there's kind of an uncertainty around Peugeot. They are so inconsistent,
They
unfortunately.
are.
Because sometimes they're up at the front, sometimes they're at the very back. I mean, a perfect example is here at Brazil versus Le Mans. Peugeot were at the very back of the field. Now they're here fighting for podiums. And that it's not all their fault. It really is not all their fault. It's
It isn't.
BOP. It's down to BOP. I mean, last time out at Le Mans, they were heavily affected by the BOP. Here at Interlagos, they are doing well on BOP, and look what's happened. So I'm kind of thinking like, where has the pace gone from the 908? You know, like where's the 908 spirit in the 9X8? So I'm hoping that that comes soon. This is the first time where Peugeot are kind of genuinely in the fight with the new iteration of the 9X8, like we had mentioned before. Oh my goodness, hold on a
Oh
second.
my god, the
Yeah.
Alpine right there. And he's still going to go down the inside of the number 8 Toyota, the number 36. That
How
was brave.
How the how did Makovicky pull that off? That was impressive. So he split the GT traffic, reminiscent to the Blomqvist and Nazar battle from
In
2024
Daytona.
in Daytona. Yep, exactly. So very impressive stuff. I don't know if he overtook him off track. Hartley's probably going to complain that he did. But
He did go on the separation side between pit lane and the, no, what's that? Cars number 46, 51, 81, and I believe it says 88. Yes,
yep.
indeed. 5 seconds adding to the next pit stop for starting procedures. As we see the
Wow.
replay now, there we can see what you were saying. It's not only the Corvette, it's the McLaren as well that is right in us. Now we see the onboard there, and we can clearly see it goes into the bit of asphalt there is between the straight finish line and the pit entry.
He might have to give that place
It gives me
back.
goosebumps. He might have. He might have to.
Hmm. Nevertheless, that was a great move, you have to say. I mean, that was
It
impressive
was
stuff.
indeed. It was indeed a great move there. Pretty ballsy, I must say, there from the Alpine. But we'll see what the stewards have to say about that. I do have to say, I hope he gets to keep that position because that overtake, you don't get to see that much. You don't get to see that pretty often, and that could well be one of the overtakes of the year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty impressive stuff from Makovicky, and he has actually moved quite ahead of the Toyota. So if anything, it's going to be like a 5 second. And the Toyota really struggling, been overtaken by two cars.
Is that as well the number 50 now? Ooh, nearly contact there between the number 8 and the number 50. Something's going on at the Toyota camp, and it's not looking well for them.
They do not
Even
have
less.
pace.
No, look at the number 7 now. Mike Conway back off the field behind both of the Ferraris, which, to be honest, it seems ironic to say this now, doesn't it? But I did believe it was impossible to be behind the Ferraris this week. Toyota isn't doing well. They
No,
are not.
Ferrari and Toyota were up at the front in Hypercar at Le Mans. Now they're at the very back. That just shows the transition, between one race versus the other. So Toyota, Ferrari, we're used to seeing them right at the front. We're used to seeing them kind of dominating WEC races, but not today. And I think that this is the first time, I mean, unless something drastic happens, Brazil will be the first time that we see a different winner other than Ferrari and Toyota in the WEC in the hypercar class. Of course, Ferrari has dominated the championship. Toyota won here last year, so we're going to get a different winner. I think that's kind of inevitable. So
I
we'll
think
see
we
how
will.
that We'll see how that works. I mean, Toyota and Ferrari right at the back with a Valkyrie in the fight as well. So hopefully the 007 can get up there. That's Tom Gamble behind the wheel. We'll see.
Yeah, it seems like we have a great fight here. It's Toyota, Ferrari, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Toyota, just at the other end of the field. But yeah, as you said, the Toyota and the Ferrari camp currently struggling. Ferrari as well in GT3. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I do believe, as you said, we are going to get a new race winner today. I really think we will. Now, I had this saved from qualifying. The number 12, of course, with powered by Cadillac, hasn't won, even though they did win last year at Spa, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
The number 5 hasn't won since last year. The number 38 has never won a World Endurance Championship race. And of course, both Peugeots. The top 5 hasn't won a race in the last calendar year. We could well see them having a great party after the race if it goes well for either of the 5.
That's a great stat, and it's totally true. I mean, this is these are tough. These are 5 entries that have never won in the WEC this year. The only entry that has taken a victory, I think, in the WEC thus far is the number 12 car, but of course, as you mentioned, that was a Porsche at the time,
Yep.
so a different car. But this is going to be interesting. Not only could we see a different winner in the WEC in 2025, but a different winner in general, as none of these cars have taken a win. So we'll see how that works. There's still a few other entries in the fight here. The number 6 Porsche looking quite strong, 6.7 seconds behind the number 93 Peugeot of Mikkel Jensen. And Anlauer, the gap has actually shrunk a little bit between Porsche and Cadillac. Actually, nope, never mind. That's a glitch between the WEC TV. Disregard what I just said. I thought it was I thought the gap went down, but it was just a glitch. So Will Stevens continues to be 3.5 seconds behind the Porsche, which is still a very healthy gap for Julian Anlauer. But remember what happened at Le Mans, viewers. The number 5 Porsche out in front continues to be, and then it just wasn't there. Good news! The number 15 BMW is back in the race. It has survived, but it's at the very back and like 17,000 laps down.
Not a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not in the fight at all. Unless there's like some sort of crazy red flag or safety car, I think maybe the 15 will get back, but yeah, it's done. I don't think there's any way for it to be there. Also, in other news, we have hit over 100 live viewers currently on the channel. Thank you all so much for your support. And again, Mora is joining me for the very first time, and if you don't know who he is, check out his YouTube channel, Mora GP. And I know that I don't know if this is I don't know if we've announced it so far, but we are working on a little project that is for your channel.
We have.
Okay, yeah, so that's gonna come soon too, and that'll be fun. I think that we've talked a lot about Peugeot. I think that's just a sign to come for a potential video that we got coming.
It's been in the oven for so long as well. We started working on it. Was it back in February?
I think
Because
so.
I've been uni hasn't given me a break, which is unfortunate. Because luckily for me, I end soon. I actually end next week.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
yeah, but I do believe it's not going to be in the oven for long. But at least from my side, I don't know from your side, but I think this might be the biggest project I've done. It's nearly an hour long.
Yeah, for me,
It's incredible.
to be a part of a project, I think this is the longest video I've ever been a part of, which is quite astonishing. That just shows that you're putting in a lot of commitment into this. We're putting in a lot of time and effort into a small little project that we've had. We have done a project before, viewers, most recently with the Bentley Speed 8, a great car that was very, very underrated, in my opinion. And
Short-lived as well.
yeah, short-lived indeed, and I was so happy with how that came out, that video, and I think that it really blew up across social media, and yeah, it's something I've been wanting to cover for a long time, so I was happy to do it with you. So yeah, we got that out a couple months ago.
I think it might have been a year already, even.
Was
Has
it?
it?
Man, it probably was.
Was it? Let me check on my phone really quick, but I do believe it has been a year already. But
Yes.
yeah, it's crazy how time flies.
I know. It is crazy. Meanwhile, we got our first pit stop of the day. That is the number 35 Alpine, but it is not coming in for a mandatory stop. This is for a penalty for the number 35 Alpine, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a penalty.
Yes, and I believe it's going to be down the order now. Thankfully, it's not like the BMW. It will be able to continue on, but that car has been stationary for nearly 25 seconds now. Now it's 25. It's past it at least. I don't know if Alpine are going to choose to do a pit stop at the same time. So the 35 stops, then the Alpine crew come in and do their mandatory stop. I would hope so, but we'll see what they have planned here. It could be a different strategy.
That's quite the penalty. He's been stopped for 40 seconds, and yet nobody's able to touch the car. I do wonder. I don't think we've even gotten a notification about the penalty. I
I
don't
didn't hear
think.
about it. Yeah, until the car came into the pit lane, I didn't hear about it at all. And it's just the only question I have is why? Why has that 35 been given such a hefty penalty? We'll find out, I guess.
Might it have been for overtaking off the track? It could have been. It could have been. I've just realized that. Let's hope not, because then
It's possible.
I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to say that would be quite the unfair penalty.
I know. I don't understand why it's been given a penalty. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the car that overtook off track the 36?
We've sorry. Yeah, true. Sorry. It seems like somebody's got the solution on the chat. It is apparently for colliding with a GT3 Ferrari in turn 2. So the Ferrari we saw going off in turn 2 and turn 3 earlier on, that might have
Oh,
been it. That
that
might have done the trick.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Okay, real quickly, viewers. Before I forget, and I don't want to interrupt what we're saying, but this is breaking news. We just got a notification from Race Control that the number 12 Cadillac, the pole sitting car, has been given a drive-through penalty for a technical infringement. That's the car that is currently in second place. Pole sitter Will Stevens is going to drop down the order. This is horrible news for Cadillac, horrible news for her team Jota, and the
The Alpine's
12.
out.
Oh, it's out.
The
Oh.
number 35 is out. He's jumping. Mark, he's jumped out of the car, and that's quite a jump, I must say. You don't jump that far unless you've got quite the problem.
That seems like
Ooh,
electronical issues for the
it
35, but
does.
I mean, there's no steam coming from the car. It's just done. It's not like the Alpine crew is like, oh, we've been given a 100-second time penalty. We're done. We don't want to continue on. It's not like that at all. I mean, look at the BMW. It's 36 minutes behind, basically. It's been like down the order or something like that. But the Alpine is out, so something went wrong with the A424. That's not good news for Freddie Habsburg, who's on board the 35 car,
Yep.
or was on board the 35. So not good news.
Yeah, and apologies there. I mistook the 35 and the 36. But
All good.
I was about to say the Ferrari might get points on countdown if this keeps going.
Oh.
if some cars keep going into the pit lane and just staying there. But yes, now talking about Ferrari, we're seeing the number 50 getting close to the number 8. But that is quite shocking from Alpine, I must say. No pun intended right there, even though. But yeah, either way, Alpine didn't look the best. They still don't look, of course. The other car is still on the track, but they don't look like they're going to be able to fight for more than a top, maybe 6th place at best.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And also here comes in the 12 Cadillac, the pole sitting car for the drive-through penalty.
Rapid
That
for the
car.
drive-through.
Yeah, so the 12 is moving down the order. It will drop. Where is it going to drop? I think it's going to drop into.
It has dropped down to 4th position.
Okay,
That
fourth
is
position.
4th position, and that will be 5 seconds behind the number 94. And as of right now, we have got 3 different car manufacturers in the top 3. That is put the number 5 Porsche leading the way from the number 38. And lo and behold, the Peugeot number 94 is finally in the top 3 spots, even if it's temporary, but it is.
Yes, that's great news for Loic Duval and Malte Jakobsen. The number 94 Peugeot is in a podium position. Can they hold it? We will see. The 12 Cadillac has moved into 4th, just a few seconds behind though, so the 12 could still get into a podium place here and even the win, so it's not over quite yet. Meanwhile, the car that was doing also well, the 009 Aston Martin, is in the pit lane for... No, not a problem. Don't worry, viewers. It's just a mandatory stop. I don't want to scare anybody because I was going to say, I mentioned the car that was doing so well. But no, it's just in for a mandatory stop. I'm not jinxing anything. So it seems that Aston Martin are the first to do a mandatory stop. Others have come into the pit lane for various problems, but the 009 is back out on track, and it will exit at the back of the field, but it has made a pit stop now, and it officially is there. So we'll see how this goes for the 009, how well this strategy works out. It's going to be fascinating for sure, but yeah, we'll see.
And back in the LMGT3 field, I gotta say, I am a little bit surprised. The number 10, Aston Martin, is still holding off the top 5, which comes a bit unexpected, I have to say. We're seeing, actually, the number 10 is struggling a lot, but it doesn't look like the Ford has the straight line speed to get past. And that is going to be decisive if the Aston Martin gets out in front in the pit lane.
Yeah, that is interesting. So we'll see. I mean, this is going to be a very epic fight in LMGT3. Ford, Aston, Lexus, McLaren, all looking very, very strong. The 77 Ford isn't quite up there right now, but the 88 is, and it's in the fight. So nice to see. But yeah, we will go with the flow and see how it goes, as I always say. Um, but the number 5 Porsche continues to lead the way by nearly 10 seconds now to Earl Bamber in the 38 Cadillac. That is because the 12 has disappeared from the leaderboard, at least from the top three, that is. It is in fourth and now catching up to the 94 Peugeot, 3.4 seconds now. The gap between third and fourth, as you can see to the left-hand side of your screen. We had a comment coming in asking what happened to the number 12. Well, it was a technical infringement. It got a drive-through penalty. It is moved down to fourth, but still in the fight for a solid points, podium, or win position. We will see how that progresses throughout this 6-hour endurance race. Speaking of which, we are nearing the first hour of the completion. We'll probably take a break from doing our regular commentary, as of course me and Mora have many things to do throughout the day. We can't stream the whole thing. That would be quite the commitment.
It will be a dream, but unfortunately, it's not possible yet.
Maybe in the future. I think that would be pretty cool. If we could stream the whole thing, that would be
it
pretty
would
epic. Yeah.
maybe one day for him to TV.
Yes, that would be awesome. That would be awesome for sure. And speaking of IMSA viewers, we have more action coming up. IMSA starting their race at
True.
CTMP very soon. We'll be live streaming for that as well, with details like the starting grid and stuff like that. But we're watching a little bit of something's going on with the 35. Do you know what is going on with the 35 here? They have like yellow rods pointed down to the ground.
I reckon aren't those the ones to make contact with the car without conducting electricity? I think they might be.
Oh, I think you might be
I'm
right.
not sure. I'm not sure. I might have said something completely stupid, and I apologize if I have. But I do believe that is the case.
It looks like it. I mean, I can't tell exactly. Um, we're getting a comment asking kind of a similar question. What the heck are those big hooks in the hands of the Alpine pit crew? We're trying to figure out the same thing of what is going on with the 35 car. For those that are watching the live stream, the 35 is stopped on the garage, and it's I mean, it's out of the race, but the crew are just trying to. I don't know what they're doing. Actually, I can't really explain what they're doing, unless I
They
have
might be
footage.
trying to figure it out themselves, even.
Yeah, it's possible. We will see. So, 5 hours and 11 minutes to go. We are not quite yet ready till we complete the first hour of the race, but we're getting there. In LMGT3, Petra Umberesco leads the way in the number 87, a Codis ASP Lexus. That's the RCF GT3, which is getting replaced after this season. So the Romanian driver, if I'm not mistaken, is now about 10 seconds ahead of Anthony McIntosh in the number 10 Racing Spirit of Lehman Aston Martin. So the Lexus is out in front, and continues to be out in front. Can Lexus achieve their first ever World Endurance victory? We will see how it works out. They are coming into the pit lane very shortly, though, the Akotis ASP team and the rest of the GT3 entries, because the energy is not high. It's very low.
Indeed, indeed. There's somebody in chat as well. Commentators apparently pointed out that turns out I was right. It is indeed to insulate from the electricity. So thank you so much for the info there from the reviewers. We appreciate that a lot. And I mean, right now in LMGT3, it's carnage up and down. The best thing is that nothing's changed. It's just we're seeing on stream cars, the hypercars just going up and just going past them left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm.
No big changes yet in the field. And as you mentioned, we can only dream right now. It can happen, but as of right now, we can only dream with a victory from the dinosaur. 10 years old, if I do remember correctly, is the age of that Lexus that is currently in the lead of the 6 hours of Sao Paulo, and it would be a bit of it will be a great goodbye from Nexus, because as we know that that there has been a apologies, a GT3 in the garages lately, doing some testing in Fuji.
Right.
But we're gonna have to wait to be able to tell when will that come, if if it comes. But it would be quite a farewell for the Lexus.
Yeah, it would be, and I think that it would be great to see the Lexus achieve a victory, considering that this is likely the last time we're gonna see it in Brazil, for the RCF GT3. So, yeah, I mean, we have this car which is rumored to be called the Lexus LFR GT3. So that car is potentially coming very soon. It was testing, as you said, at Fuji. It was testing at Laguna Seca. I had a few friends that were keeping an eye on that car. Got some footage
Hmm,
for that, and
true.
that was quite interesting as well. So yeah, that's very interesting. So real quickly, I just want to point out, I'm sure you saw it as well, Mora. We had the 12 Cadillac into the pits. That car
Hmm.
has come in for the second time. This time though, for a mandatory stop. So it has moved towards the back of the field, but that is only because of the mandatory stop. Once the other cars come in, that is how it goes. Um, and we had a comment coming in that asked when is the estimated pitting, and it is pretty much now, as we have the 78
Yeah,
Lexus
it is
into the
that now.
pits as we say that. Yeah, so it is pretty much now that we're going to start seeing these mandatory stops. Um, and the same person in the chat also asked if we could show the battery status of all these cars. Unfortunately, we can't. I don't have the data. The WEC doesn't provide that as of right now. I wish I could, but
Not free anymore, at least.
yeah, that's
They
true.
used
That's
to be
true.
last year.
Yeah, I think that it's not really available as of right now. Plus, it's the graphic that I have is a pain to change, even if they had it. So it's not really possible right now. So the 78 Lexus, they're doing a driver swap. Arnold Robin is getting out of the car, and either Yuichi Nakayama or Finn Gerzitz is getting in. Can't tell exactly who is in the car right now, but the 78 is out and away kind of slowly, but that's okay. The 78's back in the race.
They had to take it quite easy there, didn't they? It's now we're seeing a fight. Is that for sixth place? Yes, it is. The number 59 and the number 85. So of course, Celia Martin and Cottingham fighting for the position right there, and the Corvette. It's all going down now. In LMGT3 for fourth and sixth place. They're quite close together, the two fights, but I've got a feeling this might be decided in the pit lane now.
Oh yeah, a lot of cars are coming into the pit lane. Here comes the McLaren, the Corvette, the what is that other car? I think that's the Mercedes. That's
It might be the 61.
Yep,
Yes, it
it's
is.
Martin Barry on board the 61. Anthony McIntosh and the race leading Lexus have come in as well. Martin stays out on track, staying with James Cottingham, and Gattuso is now leading the race. So Stefano
Hmm.
Gattuso leads in the Proton competition forward. But let's see about this Lexus. I'm keeping an eye on Petro and Baresco. They might
Hmm.
be doing a driver change as well. So the LMGT3 cars have pretty much all come into the pit lane, including that beautiful Brazilian livery on the 31 BMW. That car, absolutely amazing. I love that livery.
It does look amazing. It does. Of course, Augusto Farfus driving the number 31. The reason why the number 31 is carrying that Brazilian livery. As well, the grandstand's quite full today. I'm pleased to say, because we know how the WEC until the hypercar era struggled a lot with attendance, with viewers, and well, now of course they are back. Now have a lot of fan base here in the World Endurance Championship, and I wanted to point out now, as you said, as the number 88 Ford has taken the lead, this might be their chance to get ahead of the number 10 if they do have the pace, because we mentioned earlier maybe they could not get past the number 10 because of the straight line speed.
Hmm.
This might be the time to profit.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, this is going quite well. And speaking of LMGT3, the number 61 Mercedes has moved in ahead of the 10 Racing Spirit of Lehman Aston Martin. How that
It has,
happened?
it has, it has.
That's interesting. So maybe they didn't like. It's probably a different strategy. So the Mercedes
Bad
probably
a
pit.
bad pit stop, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah, for the Racing Spirit of Lehman car. Or it's possible that the Mercedes didn't take a driver swap, or they did something different. Also, McLaren is in the pit lane. I think that's the 59, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the 95. This
Uh,
is the 95.
that is the yeah, it is.
Same with the Iron Dames Porsche. That's also in the pits. And we should be expecting the hypercars in as well. Also, quickly want to point out, speaking of Augusto Farfus, because you mentioned him, we have 3 Brazilians on the grid this year. Augusto Farfus is in that BMW. And then we also have
Mm,
Eduardo Barrichello, who of course took pole position for
of
this race in
course.
LMGT3, and a third driver who we've never seen in the WEC before is
We have
Augusto's.
not.
Yep, we have not. And he's Augusto's teammate. It's Pedro Ibrahim. Pedro Ibrahim is in for Tamir Bogoslavsky in the 31 BMW. Have you heard of Pedro Ibrahim before? Or I because I haven't heard too much about him.
I won't lie, I have not. Not until this weekend. Of course, Boguslavski, not the quickest guy, but the guy does have quite the trophies in his cabinet. Most of them, I do have to say, and I apologize to the team, not because of him, but of course, back in the day, those great races with Lello Marcello. But no, I hadn't heard of a substitute, to be honest. But it is great to see 3 Brazilian drivers currently in the LMGT3 field. It is a shame that we do not have any in the hypercar field, I must say, because the last one we saw was João Paulo de Oliveira, I think, in the Vanwell, might have been.
Yes, I believe so. Last full time driver was that was Brazilian was Oliveira in the Van Wall, the number 4 car.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it was.
we had more the Brazilians that are racing in prototype racing are mainly in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Of
They
course, at
are
Le Mans, we had Felipe Nasr, Felipe Drugovich.
Durrani.
Yeah, and speaking of Durrani, we are getting a Brazilian on the
Genesis.
grid. Yeah,
True, I
exactly.
forgot.
Exactly.
Genesis. That is quite true. And just I was reading from the chat a question that I wanted to answer from Luke Flanagan. Hello there, Luke. What do you make of the drop off of the Ferraris? Do you think it was fully because of the BOP for this race?
Hmm.
I must say, it's obviously because of the BOP. The question that I had, and I said it at the beginning of the stream, is that is the BOP because that's where they belong, or is it because of pressure that they had because of the last 4 races from Ferrari? We won't know until the next race, at least, because if in the next race then we see Ferrari struggling to even get into the points, then it's not going to be a good picture for the FIA nor the ACO, of course, because obviously we do not know if that's the case,
Right.
but both of them have had quite the reputation ever since the golden era started about maybe fixing a little bit the BOP to make it more favorable for some brands and make the WEC more, wouldn't say more fun to watch, but make a certain fan base get to the World Endurance Championship. But we do not know. However, is that smoke coming out of the number 6? I think that's the
It's
brakes.
the
Yeah, it is the
brakes.
brakes.
Thank goodness.
It is the brakes. Yes.
It should be okay. But yeah,
Yep.
I think Coda is a big change for Ferrari. We'll see if they perform well there, considering they won last year.
They
So
won there last year as well.
yep, exactly, they did. So yeah, we'll definitely see. Meanwhile, pit stops, mandatory pit stops happening for the hypercar field. The number 5 car is in. That's the race leader. Now taking over the lead is Earl Bamber in the 38 Hertz Team Joe to Cadillac. So pretty much everybody has come into the pit lane. And this has really changed up the grid as well. So also, what is going on with the number 5? Are you seeing this crew member like kind of waving somebody
At the
by?
front, he's waving somebody at the pit wall to get. He's telling the photograph to the cameraman to get out of the way. Something's going on with the front of that Porsche. Lots of smoke coming out of the right front brake. Apparently, from the number 5, tires are still ready, so I'm guessing it will not be as big a trouble as the mechanic made it look like. But that was quite the moment. It did scare me a little bit, I won't lie. But off goes the number 5. I was about to say, Julian Andlauer, who is one of the pearls from endurance racing nowadays, of course. We saw him at Le Mans. The main reason why the number 5 was so strong at Le Mans, Julian Andlauer, it was not only as well Le Mans. We also saw it last year with Proton. He was most of the times the driver that had the most pace out of the 3. Sometimes Neil Janney, of course, had the pace, but it was usually Andlauer.
Right.
And I don't think it was a surprise to see him get signed up for the Porsche Penske team. But it doesn't seem natural to think that this would be his first win, because a driver of such caliber, of such talent, I think this first win is calling.
I feel the same. You know, him and Michael Christensen, they deserve a win. The 6 has gotten victories in the past. It's gotten the Drivers' Championship, of course, last year. Oh, as we see contact between the 2 team cars in Hypercar and LMGT3. That's Proton Competitions entries. Did you see that?
So close. Nearly took out the breaking bolt there from Total Energies. A little bit of sponsorship there.
Yep, and even though those are 2 different cars, Ford and Porsche, they're the same team.
Somebody asking in the chat, by the way, there's a big question. Not today, but sometimes there is. Is there any IMSA WeatherTech series regular season drivers in this race?
Yes.
There are not. Not today, are there?
I think there's one. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're fine.
I believe there's one driver, Anthony McIntosh, who usually competes in IMSA.
True.
He's racing in IMSA in the number 19 Van der Stur Racing Vantage that usually competes in IMSA. He's racing today, so he's the only driver that regularly competes. Actually, no, he's not the only driver. There's a second one as well I totally forgot about. Marco Wittmann. In the number 20 BMW.
Widman, of course. I forgot. Widman is in.
So Marco
France
Wittmann.
France is doing Formula E. I forgot.
He is, yeah. So France is over in Formula E. Wittmann has been called in, but Wittmann usually races full time in the BMW. So Wittmann and McIntosh. That was your answer, viewer. So I hope that that answers it.
I had completely forgot that. Like, not only Wittmann, of course, Wittmann is a substitute, like a last minute substitute. I have completely forgotten McIntosh raced in IMSA, to be honest. I did not remember that. So, yeah, my bad, viewers.
You know, I just realized there's actually a few more drivers in here that are racing full-time in IMSA as well that I totally forgot about. Mikkel Jensen.
Wait a minute, because now this is... Sorry. True.
Mikkel Jensen, Paul di Resta, Jakobsen, all racing in LMP2. I completely forgot about them, but they're racing... just as like drivers that aren't racing across the entire rounds, only when LMP2 is present. But yeah, I keep forgetting about those drivers.
Yeah, true. But it is true that most of the hypercar drivers drive LMP2. Only Kobayashi and Hartley, if I remember correctly, have raced in IMSA. well, of course, we've had the Cadillac drivers and some of the BMWs, but I mean, they have been the only two drivers that have raced in GTP and not in their respective hypercars.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
Not in their respective hypercars.
if I'm not mistaken as well, Brendan Hartley is the only driver on the current grid that has raced an Acura, a Cadillac, and a Toyota. Actually, nope. You know what? There's one more driver as well. He's raced three different cars. So Brendan Hartley's raced an Acura, a Cadillac, and a Toyota. And there's also
Correct.
Jensen Button, who has raced an Acura, a Porsche,
Jensen
and a
Button.
Cadillac. I keep forgetting that he drove one time in the Wayne Taylor Racing Acura at Daytona in 2024. And so yeah, that he and Brendan Hartley are the only drivers to race in three different cars.
Yeah, I was wondering. I had a big. I think I had a bit of a moment because I was remembering that it was not. For a second thought it was not the Daytona race. I was thinking Petit Le Mans. I'm wrong.
No, no,
Obviously, I was confused.
Jensen
Did he race
Button.
with Acura?
He didn't race with Acura, but he did race in the Porsche at Petit Le Mans. That's probably what you're thinking. With
It was
JDC
with. It
Miller.
was with. Yeah, correct. Yeah, JDC Miller.
I think that
Can
was
I act?
Winter. Sorry, go ahead.
It was no. Yeah. It was what I think it was. Because I still remember the. I was actually wondering if it was the Acura because back then, of course, it was already announced that he was going to drive for Acura.
Mhm.
That just reminded me as well for some reason of Alex Albon because somebody just asked on the chat about an active driver participate in the WEC. To which the answer to the question is technically you can. As of nobody does it. Hasn't done it since Fernando Alonso in 2018. But they said that, of course, I think you will remember this. But Alexander Albon meant to drive for this year's 2025 24 Hours of Daytona, if I remember correctly. Or was it last year? Can't
I think
remember.
it
Can't
was
recall now.
either one of them. I can't remember either.
Either it was either one of them that fell off. Williams that were not willing to let their driver go for the weekend. That would have been quite the sight. I think that would have really made not only IMSA but endurance racing as a whole. I think that could have been quite the point.
That would have been really cool. Yeah, Albon was interested in doing it. I think he was meant to do it. And yeah, it didn't really work out. But yeah, I mean, there have been many drivers in F1 that have expressed interest. Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, etc. That have all said that they want to compete in at Le Mans, in the WEC or IMSA at one
Yeah.
stage in their career. And we'll see how it happens. All three. Well, not Max, but Pierre and Charles both have their respective teams over in WEC, Ferrari and Alpine, of
They
course.
do.
So
They do.
it's possible that if they bring another car, well, then there's a Leclerc or a Gasly you can throw in. But yeah,
Hmm.
as you mentioned, more it is possible, but not many people have done it.
No, not many people have. The last drivers, of course, being Nico Hulkenberg and Fernando Alonso, both winning. We must say, both winning their respective Le Mans entries. Alonso, of course, done it twice. Hulkenberg once. But yeah, of course, the drivers who have expressed the most interest, Verstappen and Alonso, have mentioned quite a few times actually that they want to do the race together. Leclerc, of course, has been quite fond of Le Mans, has mentioned it a few times. As you said, Pierre Gasly to Alexander Albon, pretty interested in endurance racing. But and I do have to criticize a little bit here the Formula One management having a little bit too much pride, perhaps, over their championship because doesn't look like they're going to leave a Formula One gap for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and it is a shame.
It is. I mean, they do it as well with IndyCar as well. I mean, they seem to schedule a race on the date of the Indy 500. I mean, Monaco Grand Prix, they should have done that at a
As
different
always,
time.
yeah.
And now the Canadian Grand Prix for next year is on the same day as the Indy 500. So, yeah, I would prefer F1 to maybe take a look at the other successful championships and just see like, okay, there's another opportunity to have a different date. So we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, in this race, up at the front continues to be Julian Andlauer by around 9 or so seconds. Then comes the two Cadillacs, the 12 ahead of the 38. So the earlier pit stop for the 12 has moved ahead. Then comes the two Peugeots rounding off the top five. And LMGT3, it's a Lexus 1-2. You mentioned earlier, Mora, that Lexus, they look scary, and they do. Petru Umbresco leads over Finn Gerzitz in the 87 above the 78. Then comes the Mercedes, the 61 car, followed by James Cottingham in the 59 and Celia Martin in the number 85 Iron Dames Porsche. But there could be a change for fourth very shortly, as the Porsche is looking to move ahead of the McLaren.
And we talked about the Ford, the number 88.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe taking the chance to get second place before the stops. It's gone down to 15th.
What happened there?
Something's gone wrong, and very, very wrong for the number 88. Just now we see Rayo Frey there struggling a little bit with the nerves. Is that down the inside? No, not really. From the number 85, Iron Dames on James Cottingham. But another thing, and you said, of course, we know how great of a driver Maxime Martin is. The number 61 is looking feisty. I do have to say, and I do apologize again for the critic, but I think it's going to drop off as soon as Schiavone gets in the car. But it is a shame because Schiavone, of course, the team owner from Iron Lynx, but they do so well. They get such great drivers. We saw it with Lamborghini. We've seen it with Lamborghini and IMSA and WEC. We've seen it now with Mercedes. It's just they need someone else that Schiavone. Of course, he is on his whole ride to drive his own car. I mean, that's the whole point. But yeah, it is great to see Maxime Martin giving such a great fight. Right there in third place in the LMGT3 field, but unfortunately, she is bound to fall off.
Yeah, we'll see about Mercedes if the 61 can get up there. Could it be a first ever WEC podium for the AMG GT3? We will see very shortly. Meanwhile, the Porsche is going to move into fourth position. Here comes Celia Martin. This time round, she gets the job done and moves ahead of James Cottingham into P4 for the Iron Dames Porsche. Very good move from the new driver to the Iron Dames team. Cottingham is looking to re-overtake the 911, but I think
that'll be tough. That'll be tough.
Yeah, that will. So we'll definitely see how that works out. We had a comment coming in saying any predictions. We did make a few predictions earlier, but we'll stand by them. I mentioned the number 5 Porsche to win this race, and I do think that the either the 87 or the 78 Lexus has got the win in LMGT3. Mora, you mentioned that it could be either the 5 or the 38 winning. Do you stand by that prediction from earlier?
Yeah, I still stand by that picture, even more now after the penalty to the number 12. But of course, the number 38, I mentioned it. I still have hopes for them, although they have the name, and rightly so, the Grandpa car, because they do have the oldest average age in the whole hypercar field, the number 38 Cadillac. But they have shown glimpse of pace. They, as I said before, they have been quite up there in the free practice sessions, in qualifying as well. And I do have a bit of hope. Apologies for that. That was the number 81 Corvette trying to go down the inside of the number. Is that the 95?
Yeah, believe so.
McLaren from United Autosports, but no can do from the Corvette. He might drag it into turn 1. Not sure if that will work out. And he is closing and closing and closing. Is that going to be a dive bomb from the number 81 Corvette? Yes, it is, but he misses out. The McLaren brakes later.
Yeah, the McLaren stays ahead, so 95 ahead of the 81. Meanwhile, both BMWs have moved into the top 10. Very good to see for Team WRT. Yeah, this battle continues on for 8th position, while Lexus continues to lead by 9 seconds, separating 2nd and 3rd position. Petra Umberesco leads away in the number 87 Akotas ASP Lexus, and then comes the number 78s. But yeah, Porsche continues to lead in Hypercar. Lexus continues to lead in LMGT3. We'll see how this goes. So, I don't know if this is a point, but do you think this is a point where we should take a break here, since we've completed over an hour?
We might.
Okay. Well, we'll probably take a break here, viewers, and continue to watch the race in our own time. Of course, hopefully in the future, but Mora and me would love to stream more, and hopefully even the whole race at one point. I think that would be kind of cool.
It will be great one day, yeah.
For sure, for sure. Well, this is a good point to pause anyway, because there's action happening, but in general,
it's gone down a level.
It has. Yeah, it's a chill point in the race for sure. So yeah, I guess that pretty much concludes everything. Before we kind of sign off, Mora, on your debut here on the FIAWEC YouTube channel live stream, how are you feeling, and what are your thoughts coming out of this?
Well,
I don't mean to put you on the pressure.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. It's been an absolute pleasure, I must say. I've had so much fun commentating this race, and it's always been a pleasure to work with you. I've always said it, and of course, it's also been the first time that I've actually done commentary on an actual race, and it's been quite the experience. But yeah, I must say, thank you so much for having me today for this watch party. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully it won't be the last one, but that's not up to me. But yeah, again, thank you so much for having me, and let's hope that this race keeps being as good as it's currently being.
Well, you did brilliant throughout the stream, and I would be happy to have you back here on this channel for more live streams in the future. I hope that we get to do it more and more often when we see the opportunity. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, Mora, and thank you all so much for joining us, viewers, for this live stream. Make sure to check out Mora's channel. I'll link it in the description down below, Mora GP. Check it out in the description. We got a lot of cool videos on there. Mora's posted a bunch of endurance racing content. We mentioned earlier that me and him are working on a collaborative video, which we'll post soon, and that will be a really cool one.
Let's hope it's soon enough.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, and I'm really excited. It's an amazing story, so it will be really fun.
It is.
Okay, viewers, thank you all so much for joining. Today, we're not done with endurance racing action. We will be back for the IMSA CTMP venue. My live stream co-host David, as well as, is returning for that one. And yeah, that will be happening very shortly. You can check out the live data stream for the WEC 6 hours of Sao Paulo. If you can't watch the action live, if you want to check it out, we still have that live stream going. That will go throughout the entire day of racing here at Sao Paulo. In addition to that, we have the starting grid stream for the IMSA race coming very shortly, as well as a watch party later on. So a lot of streaming throughout today. But for now, that's our watch party concluded. Again, thank you so much to Mora for joining. Thank you all so much for joining this live stream. And keep watching this epic Rolex 6 hours of Sao Paulo race in the World Endurance Championship. Porsche continues to lead. Lexus continues to lead. And yeah, we will see you